If you've ever wondered why some leaders can command a room without saying a single word, or why certain couples can completely diffuse a massive fight with just a look, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, in this explainer, we are going deep into a hidden biological system that fundamentally dictates your success. It's called somatic intelligence. You see, beneath all your conscious, swirling thoughts, there's a highly sophisticated feedback system that's literally controlling how you move, how you sit, and how you interact with every single person in your life.
But before we get into the heavy science, I want to ask you a very direct question. Is your posture draining your brain power right this exact second? Seriously, let's do a quick real-time audit of your physical state. Are your shoulders hunched forward right now? Is your breathing kind of shallow? What about your jaw? Are those muscles tight? As we're about to see, if you're disconnected from these subtle physical signals, you aren't just projecting bad body language. You are actually actively draining your own cognitive battery.
Okay, let's dive right into this roadmap. We are going to start with the baseline biology of your hidden senses, see exactly how body awareness frees up massive mental bandwidth, and then we're going straight into the practical stuff. We'll cover leadership signals, the science of sales trust, rebuilding intimacy and relationships, and we'll wrap up with a highly practical 5-week action plan. So jumping into Section 1, the hidden sense. To really grasp this, we first have to look at the biological mechanisms that are constantly running in the background of your nervous system.
I found the first piece of this puzzle absolutely fascinating. It's known as proprioception. Basically, think of this as your body's automatic, built-in sixth sense. It is the constant physical feedback your brain receives from tiny, highly specialized sensors located all throughout your muscles, tendons, and joints. They're constantly firing off data, telling your brain exactly where your limbs are and how they're moving. And the crazy part? This all happens without you ever having to physically look down at your hands or your feet.
Now, the second piece is interoception. While proprioception tells you where you are out in space, interoception is your ability to feel what's going on inside you. It's that feeling of your heartbeat accelerating before a big presentation or noticing that your breathing has suddenly become shallow. Together, these two hidden senses create this incredibly rich mental map of your physical self. And having a highly tuned mental map is exactly what helps you move smoothly, judge physical boundaries instinctively, and subconsciously respect personal space when you're talking to a colleague or a loved one.
Now, what's really interesting about this concept is how it completely debunks the oldest advice in the book. The classic, just stand up straight lecture. The reality is, if you have a low connection to your body, meaning poor proprioceptive and interoceptive awareness, simply forcing yourself into an upright posture has little to no positive effect on your mood or your thinking. It's essentially an empty gesture. But if you have a high connection to your physical self, well, an upright posture suddenly becomes a total superpower. It promotes rapid emotional recovery and literally sparks positive, creative, and flexible thinking. The big takeaway here is that a quick fix doesn't work. You have to first practice actually feeling your body to unlock the true benefits of posture. Which brings us perfectly to Section 2, freeing mental bandwidth. We so often treat our physical state and our mental state as two completely separate things, but they actually share the exact same energy source.
Think about it like a smartphone battery. When your body is what experts call ungrounded, meaning you've got low proprioceptive feedback, your brain is essentially flying blind. It's forced to burn massive amounts of background energy just to keep you physically balanced and calculate your position in space. It's literally like having a dozen heavy apps running in the background of your phone. It just drains the battery. And all that hidden physical effort saps your mental focus, leaving you with way less brain power to actively listen or explain a complex idea. Conversely, when you have a grounded body, your physical movements are effortless. They're automatic. Your brain reclaims all that wasted energy and redirects it straight into language, emotional intelligence, and razor-sharp focus.
Okay, so how does all this translate to the actual workplace? Let's move right into Section 3, leadership and silent signals. Because this mind-body connection, it gives you a hardcore professional advantage. Let this number be a total visual wake-up call for you. Research indicates that up to 93% of communication effectiveness in the workplace comes entirely from nonverbal cues. 93%? Your posture, your facial expressions, your vocal tone, they are screaming much louder than your actual words ever could. In fact, when managers project a confident, physically grounded presence, their teams rate them as 45% more effective. That is a massive jump just from physical presence.
To actually read the room and project absolute trust in themselves, elite leaders use something called the 3 C's model. First up is context. They always factor in the environment and the specific workplace culture. Second, clusters. They don't just jump to a wild conclusion based on one single gesture. They look for groups of physical signals. Like a nod combined with uncrossed arms. But the ultimate key is the third C, congruence. This is when your body language and your tone of voice perfectly match your spoken words. If you're physically tight, your arms are rigidly crossed, and you're saying, "I am so excited about this project," the team's subconscious is going to instantly flag you as untrustworthy.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what to do about it in the workplace. For posture, it's not enough to just sit up straight. You want to lean forward slightly, about 10 to 15 degrees. It shows genuine, grounded interest. When it comes to your hands, keep them visible. Hidden hands automatically trigger subconscious suspicion in other people. For your eyes, try using what's known as the lighthouse technique. Basically, you look at one person for about 3 to 5 seconds and then smoothly glide your gaze to the next person. It completely avoids that aggressive, unblinking stare. And for your voice, practice deep belly breathing to keep your tone nice and steady when you're under pressure. Listen, these aren't just party tricks. They are the physical signals of a fully regulated nervous system. Now, let's shift gears into a really high-stakes environment where projecting safety is absolutely everything. Moving into Section 4, the science of sales trust.
In the world of sales, if a buyer's nervous system detects even a hint of a threat, you've lost them. So here are 3 highly practical somatic tools you can use to build subconscious rapport. Step 1 is truth-playing gesturing. This simply means keeping your hand gestures open and focused in the specific area between your belly button and your chest. Exposing your open palms in this exact zone signals absolute safety and transparency to the ancient part of a buyer's brain. Step 2 is delayed mirroring. You subtly match a buyer's positive posture or their speech tempo, but, and this is crucial, with a natural delay of about 2 to 4 seconds. It makes them feel deeply understood without feeling like they're being mimicked. Just remember, never mirror negative or defensive body language. That only reinforces their resistance. Finally, Step 3, baseline calibration. Spend the first few minutes of any meeting just observing their normal behavior. How do they normally sit? How often do they blink? Once you establish their baseline, any sudden shift, like maybe they suddenly tighten their jaw, becomes your early warning system that they're feeling pressured.
All right, let's pivot away from the boardroom and into the living room. Section 5, reconnecting in relationships. Because let's be real, relationship struggles are rarely just mental disagreements. They are very much physically stored in the body.
Over time, daily stress and unresolved arguments physically manifest as muscle tension and shallow breathing. Therapists actually call this couple armor. It's these defensive physical blocks that completely destroy intimacy. And the only real cure for this is somatic resonance. It's defined as the ability to physically feel, sense, and tune into your partner's inner state. You simply cannot logic your way through couple armor. You have to melt it physically.
So how do you actually do that? You use co-regulation tools. First, co-regulated breathing. Sit together quietly and just synchronize your breaths. Inhale slowly for 4 to 6 seconds and exhale for 6 to 8. This literally forces both of your nervous systems to power down from fight or flight mode. Next is safe touch. Something as simple as placing a hand over your partner's heart signals deep safety directly to their nervous system, and it releases a rush of oxytocin. And finally, pendulation. This one is a real game changer for arguments. When you feel yourself getting emotionally overwhelmed, notice the tight spot in your body. Maybe it's a clenched stomach. Then gently shift your mental focus back and forth between that point of tension and a point of safety, like feeling your feet firmly planted on the floor. It acts like a circuit breaker, stopping the emotional flood right before it starts.
Let's move on and see how this all builds into something you can start using today. Section 6, your 5-week action plan.
Listen, you absolutely do not need some complicated, intense yoga routine to make this work. There are a few really simple daily exercises that do the trick. Before doing any of them, gently engage your abdominal muscles, kind of like you're preparing for a light punch to the stomach. It stabilizes your spine. Try the stork balance. Just lift one foot, hold it for 30 seconds, and eventually try it with your eyes closed. It forces your ankle sensors to work overtime. The bird dog exercise is great for building core awareness. Then there's the tightrope walk. Literally just walking heel to toe in a straight line. It wildly enhances precise motor planning. And cone pickups on one leg are fantastic for strengthening your dynamic balance. These are small, highly targeted movements, but they aggressively train your proprioception.
And here is exactly how you roll this out chronologically over the next 5 weeks. Keep in mind, somatic education is not about forcefully yanking your shoulders back into place. It requires a gentle, non-corrective approach. So, weeks 1 and 2. Just observe. Notice your own physical habits. Are you breathing shallowly during Zoom meetings? Don't even try to fix it yet. Just become aware of it. Weeks 3 and 4. Start making gentle adjustments. Maybe try gesturing in that truth plane at work. Or use co-regulated breathing with your partner. Just pick one thing. Then,
Week 5 and beyond is all about natural integration. By this point, your heightened body awareness is going to naturally keep you calmer, allowing you to communicate with incredible clarity, all without having to force it. Which brings us to our final thought. Somatic intelligence is a powerful, positive, and deeply practical pathway to human connection and success. Your body has been sending you and everyone around you constant messages this entire time. The real secret to authentic presence isn't about memorizing a script. It's about learning to listen to the subtle signals your physical self is broadcasting 24/7. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What is your body silently saying to the room right now? And are you finally ready to listen? Start your mindful observation today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.